like Clark, I can't stop. Fuck around, make my 40 pop. No popcorn, I pop pistols. Reaming my body, clothing no issue. Bitch, you look sick, you need a tissue. You drop a body, I just might bless you. I'm metrosexual.
Yo, what is going on, everyone? It's Wraith here, back with another video. Now, in today's video, I'm basically going to be talking about what separates you from a pro player and why they're so much better than you, or why they actually are at that pro level and seem to do better in every competitive game or just pubs or whatever the case is. So if you're looking forward to today's video and figure out how you can kind of or make your game a little bit better and maybe become a pro player, make sure you slap a like button, comment what you want to see for a future video. I'm always reading your guys' comments. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and let's get right into today's video. And by the way, if you don't know, I stream almost every single day at WraithAM on Twitch, so come check me out and chill, play games with me, or whatever the case is. Now let's get right into the video. So the first thing that separates a pro player from you or just an average player, and this is definitely pretty obvious, and I'm sure a lot of you guys probably realize this, but it's the time put into the game and actually invested at getting better and just playing the game overall. Now, if you watch players like Zextro or Mongrel on Twitter, they actually posted how long they had played. It's just kind of something you can check to see how much time you actually spent in Fortnite, and they had over 6 months played in Fortnite. And you might be thinking 6 months, like just having the app open or what, and I'm talking like 6 months of actually playing the game and thinking that the game's only been out for like a year and a half or a year and 8 months or whatever the case is. That's pretty incredible how much time they've invested in the game. And thinking about that, like for example, I've only had 2 months played in the game, and I play almost every single day. So the fact that they've played so long and so much is absolutely incredible, which is obviously the reason as to why they're pretty good. Now, obviously, if you can just play the game and still become really good at the game, like, or not really good at the game, like you could play every single day and still not become a pro player, which kind of goes into my next tip, or the next reason as to why they're a pro player, is they utilize their time better when they're playing. If you watch them, not very often are they playing squads, or they're just doing whatever, Team Rumble or whatever the case is, right? If you watch Mongrel, you watch Benji, or you watch Bizzle, they're either grinding arena, they're grinding creative to work on their mechanics, they're playing customs. One of those three things, or maybe zone wars or whatever the case is, or solo squads, they're doing something to help them improve, and they're utilizing their time better. I know so many people who play the game for like 5 to 6 hours a day who will just play squads with their friends or play Team Rumble or just do 1v1s in creative and be like, okay, well, like, why am I not getting better? Why am I not at this like top 100 range? And the reason for that is because you're not utilizing your time. The pro players, like I said, know that every single second they play the game, instead of just playing the game, you actually have to be practicing the game, not just playing it, because you're not going to get to the next level. Like I said, they do very specific things to help them improve every time they're playing. Working on their aim, working on their editing, working on just their general mechanics, just stuff like that. And that is the reason as to why they're a pro player, because all that 6 months, probably 5 of it was actually utilized in a proper way to improve. So the next reason why I think that they're a pro player is they're consistent on their practice and consistent on practicing specific moves. So now a lot of you guys might be like, okay, what did you just say? And basically what I mean is, a perfect example is Mongrel. He does the same edit in creative, or the same tunnel in creative, for hours and hours every single day to make sure he never messes up on it. For example, as a warm-up video, or when you watch his streams when he's playing creative, he'll do that. He'll break a wall, edit the wall, and then throw a ramp in, cut the ramp in half, and just shoot, probably for 25-30 minutes straight, just because he does the moves so much in game and he never wants to mess up on it. So every single time he's practicing a specific moves for hours and hours, and he's not practicing crazy high ground retakes, he's not practicing crazy side jumps, he's practicing things he'd use in a game, and he practices them until he gets them down 100%. Because the difference between a pro and you is that they don't mess up. They know that every single thing they do, they're most likely going to pull off because they practice it so much in creative games and whatever the case is. Now, the next reason as to why pro players are so good, and a lot of you guys know that I'm a big fan of this, and it is VOD review. For example, I don't really have the clip, but FaZe Dubs actually said that the reason him and Mega did so well and he did so well is because they VOD reviewed Benji for hours and hours every single day to figure out how he played and basically just use his playstyle in their own gameplay. Now, if that doesn't tell you something, I don't know what will, because if other pros are watching other pros' gameplays for hours and hours every single day, or even their own gameplay to figure out what they're doing wrong, well then I don't know what to tell you, because VOD review is just so important, and this just proves it. For example, almost every single pro I know or I've talked to actually end up watching their own gameplays after every single tournament to figure out what they could have done better and fix their mistakes. Now, I know a lot of you guys do VOD review, but trust me, putting in more time, figuring out what pros do to be as good as they are will give you that slight advantage that you need to get to the top level. Now, the next reason as to why pro players are so good, and this is pretty specific for not all pros, but for some of them, is they've played other games. So, for example, a lot of Fortnite pros actually came from CSGO or PUBG or games like that. For example, Ninja, Tfue, Bizzle, all those type of players had really good aim and mechanics because they've played other games. So their aim is already really good and their IQ is already decent because they know when to peek people, when not to peek people, when to push people, when not to push people. Now, obviously the building mechanic and editing is all new, so they only had to learn 2 to 3 different things because they already know about the IQ. They already know all the aim because they already have the aim from other games. So this helped them quite a bit. For example, me, I only played COD before Fortnite, so I didn't really have any natural aim. And this was my first keyboard and mouse game where a lot of pro players have been on keyboard and mouse for 10 to 12 months, even some for like 5 to 6 years, right? So they obviously have a big advantage having good mouse control as well as good aim, where a lot of people, including probably you guys, or even if you're on controller, actually don't probably have years of gameplay played as well as the natural aim and IQ because you guys probably haven't played in that many shooter games or even put as much time. Like, for example, Ghost Bizzle was a pro Counter-Strike player before he played this. So a lot of his skills translated over to Fortnite, which allowed him to do better in tournaments, which allowed him to set himself off early because he already had the aim, the IQ. Like I said, all he needed to practice was the building, the editing, knowing when to edit, when to rotate, and he kind of could just figure that all out by the first 6 seasons, as well as he just watched a lot of his own gameplay and other pros gameplay to figure out what he did. I actually donated to his stream. I've talked about it on stream before, but I don't know if all of you guys know. I donated to his stream and asked him like what he thinks the #1 thing to practices and utilize your time in on Fortnite, and he actually said that it was VOD review, either VOD reviewing yourself or VOD reviewing other players. That's how he became so good, and that's kind of what I just said to tip before. So my last tip, and well, again, not really a tip, but the last reason as to why pro players are pro players, and a lot of you guys probably saw this coming, is that natural talent. Now, a lot of people don't have that natural talent, which is very, very unfortunate, which means they have to put in more time in the game. For example, people like Mongrel and Benji, they have that natural talent, those natural reflexes that a lot of people won't have and unfortunately probably will never have. Now, I'm not saying that you can't become a pro player if you don't have natural talent, or you can't become really good if you don't have natural talent, because that's false. It just helps you to become a better player if you have that natural talent and put in less time in the game because you already have that natural aim or that natural IQ. So, for example, Mongrel, he VOD reviews, but he doesn't need to as much as other people because he just understands the game on a different level than a lot of people, which allows him to put more time into his mechanics and getting better at the game mechanically because he already knows the IQ and he already knows what he's doing in every single scenario. Now, like I said, just because you don't have natural talent doesn't mean you can't get to a pro level. It just means you're going to have to work harder, spend more time doing VOD reviews, spending more time on your mechanics to get to that level, which is kind of unfortunate. But hey, if you want to become the best, that's what you're going to have to do. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you slap a like button, comment what you want to see for a future video. I'm always reading your guys' comments. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. And like I said, I stream almost every single day at WraithAM on Twitch, so if you want to come check me out, links in the description, or you can just look up WraithAM on Twitch, and I'll see you guys there. Have a good one, everyone, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.